Frank.
We love you!
Thank you. I have absolutely no idea what we're doing other than, I think me and her are going to sing a song. We're going to sing a song? So, questions and answers. I'll talk a little bit about Machete 2. Machete Kills.
We have a clip of the clock. Okay. Can we run it again? This time we'll run it with you and then you can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll remember it. This is a clip from the movie The Clock.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah!
you have to forgive me. I've done over 250 some movies, I think. So I'm exercising some exorcism to run the clip. I think I might be naked in this one. I'm not sure. Love you too. My kind of woman. Breathing.
Yeah, push play.
Run the clip. ¿Qué pasó con el clip?
Trying to get the lighter out.
I'm like about the ninth person to say that to me. Thank you. Wait.
What was Quentin Tarantino like?
About 5 French fries short of a Happy Meal. Quentin is like non-stop. Non-stop. It's like, you know, drama. And he talks with his hands and he moves. So if you get between him and a conversation with like Robert Rodriguez, you'll like get electrocuted. There's so much energy going on, man. And it's funny to like watch them because no matter where you're at, if you're at dinner and they get an idea, they start like writing into on so everything is written down. Everything. By the time you finish dinner, you've got a new movie. You know, with dialogue.
Where did the name Machete came from originally?
Originally, Machete came out of, Robert and I were doing the movie Desperado in Acuña, Mexico. And, Acuña, yeah! I don't know from there at that time, I was a guy. But we were doing it, and Antonio Banderas was the star of Desperado, but really nobody knew him, you know, and so a lot of people didn't like gravitate toward him, and I was standing around with no shirt, you know. Everyone was coming up talking, asking for autographs and pictures, and it's funny because Robert says, they think you're the star of the movie. I said, I am. Who's Antonio Banderas? He started telling me about this idea of this that he had about Machete, who was a federal, who was a man of the people. At first he gave me the story, and it was kind of all in Mexico, him fighting the cartel. And then as it developed over a period of time, it became what it was. And then when they did Grindhouse, they needed some trailers. So Robert says, we got one. And he came over and asked me if I wanted to do a trailer for Machete. I said, we ain't done it yet. I know, but let's do the trailer. So we did the trailer. Now, I mean, he's been so innovative in his career. Because before, when you wanted to make a movie, you would write a treatment. It would be a 3-page, 4-page treatment. And you would take it around to the different studios and you would show it. Well, now, because of Machete and Robert Rodriguez, but now when you want to make a movie, it's like, it's best to shoot a trailer. You know, you shoot a trailer of that movie, and then people can see what they're getting. You know, so it's another. innovative idea by the Rodriguezes.
Can you discuss more about Machete Kills?
Oh my God, I love it. You know what? Machete Kills is making the first one, Machete, look like something they could show in kindergarten. Amazing. Me and Jessica Alba, I think, killed like 14 people the first minute of the movie. Just happened. And then we have, let's see, who do we have? We have Mel Gibson, we have Charlie Sheen, Lady Gaga. She's a brilliant actress. She's a brilliant actress. She's great. And then we have Sofia Vergara. All right. Yeah, no. When she walked on the set, it got quiet. Usually everybody's messing around. It just got quiet. And we got Sophia, then we got Amber Heard, we've got Cuba Gooding Jr., Antonio Banderas again, and God, another little girl, I always forget her name. Vanessa Hudgens, yeah, Vanessa Hudgens. And then it was funny because Amber Heard, yeah, I have a love scene with her, where we started a love scene. So Robert Rodriguez says, okay, action! And then he goes, action! And then, Amber, why are you laughing? Because Danny won't stop saying, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, before you got into movies, what was your childhood like?
My childhood like?
Yes.
You know, I don't know. It was I got in a lot of trouble. I didn't play well with others, and so I basically got in a lot of trouble. In fact, I got thrown out of Los Angeles. When I was about 13, and I sent the text to my aunt in San Antonio, and I lived with her for a little while. And then I was supposed to stay 3 years. I think I stayed 3 months, and then I went back to LA. And, I just got in more trouble. But you know, it's like when you finally realize that you have to take drugs and alcohol out of your life, and that education is the key to anything you want to do.
I heard you got your start when you had to teach Eric Roberts how to box.
Well, yeah, actually, you know what? I was a drug counselor. This is 1985. You know, 1985. I was a drug counselor. I worked with kids that were trying to stay off of drugs. And one of the kids that I was working with called me up at about 11 o'clock at night and said, hey, there's a lot of dope down here on my job. Come on down and hang out with me. So I went out as his counselor. I just went to hang out with him. And I walked onto the movie set of a movie called Runaway Train with John Boyd and Eric Roberts. And I was standing there. I thought it was funny because everybody was dressed like prisoners and convicts. And they were like, funny. They were like, they'd come up to me and go, hey, does this look tough? Yeah, he'd be somebody's wife in prison. And then I kept like going like this. I kept all their tattoos smeared. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. And so, because they were all fake tattoos. And this guy asked me, do you want to be in this movie? And I said, what do I got to do? And he said, do you want to be an extra? And I said, extra what? Can you act like a convict? So, give it a shot. Jail all my life. Okay, so I started, I took off my shirt. When I took off my shirt, I had that big tattoo on my chest.
Take it off.
Yeah.
That tattoo got voted the most #1 recognizable tattoo in the world. So when I took it off, this other guy came over and said, hey, you're Danny Trejo. And I go, yeah. And he goes, Danny, I saw you win the lightweight and the welterweight title up at San Quentin. I go, yeah. He says, you still boxing? I go, here's my story. He says, are you still boxing? I go, nah, hell no, I don't like to get hit in the face. I train though. So he said, well, you know what, we need to train one of the actors how to box. And I said, what's it pay? And he said, $320 a day. And I said, how bad you want this guy beat up? They were giving everybody else $50 for acting like an extra. And I'd have done it for $50. And so I started training Eric Roberts how to box for the movie Runaway Train. And I could handle Eric. I could work with him. So he was scaring me. And Andre Kozlowski, the director, saw how we worked together. So he just came over and said, "You be in the movie." And I said, "Are they still going to give me my $320 a day?" So I started working with Andre Kozlowski, the director. Now next month, I just got invited to his 75th birthday. And because he always says he gave me my start, which he did, they're picking up the tab. So I get to go to Russia, Moscow, for free. Otherwise, I'd have just said happy birthday. Are there any other questions? I'm not going with the short, so shut up.
When you're working on the set of Sons of Anarchy, are the other actors legit? Do you feel intimidated, or do you feel tougher than the guys there?
You know what? It's like, yeah, I don't want to get intimidated if somebody wants to sock me, you know what I mean? Otherwise, because it's like, they're all actors, they're all really nice guys. I'm telling you, they're really nice guys. These guys could, some of them had to learn how to ride a motorcycle on the show. You know what I mean? But they're all nice guys. I mean, Ron is like, you know, a sweetheart. I mean, Ron and Jax. I had a T-shirt with Jack's picture on it. I got offered $100 for it in South Africa when I was in Cape Town. They were like offering me money for it. I called him up and I said, "Hey, I'm getting $100 a T-shirt." And he, "Oh, that's cool." "Yeah, it's got your picture on it." He goes, "Well, I'll give, send me 10%.
You have one heck of a life. And there's a book that I'd like to read. The Life and Times of Danny Trejo. If you need a ghostwriter, I'm available.
A friend of mine, Peter McCauley, is writing a book right now. He's been a friend. We go all the way back to the beginning. It's solid. So he's so that's in the making, you know. I'm not in no rush to do anything. I'm just having a great time. Spider-Man.
All right, you probably get this a lot. Are you a Mexican?
You know, to show you how brilliant Robert Rodriguez is and how humble Johnny Depp is we're sitting there on the set, right? We're in where was that? That was filmed in San Miguel Allende in Mexico. And Robert's writing, and he goes, "Here, you guys say this." And he made that up right there on the set. And so Johnny Depp is looking at, "Whoa, Danny, what? Hey, these lines are going to make us famous." Scissorhand, you don't remember that one? But he's like, if you ever want to feel inadequate as a man, I'm going to tell you something. Stand between like Johnny Depp and Antonio Banderas. Everybody. So, having a bad day or what? Go ahead, somebody had a hand up. Go ahead.
How was it making Con Air?
Con Air was fun. Con Air was probably the biggest test in testosterone ever. Because of all, 50 actors, right? They all trying to be hard guys. And it was funny. Who knows, anybody who knows who Benny Urquidez is, Benny the Jet?
Yeah.
Benny the Jet, like 5-time world champion kickboxing, okay? He's like just amazing athlete and fighter, right? And he knew I didn't play well with others. All these guys are like challenging the hay. And if you spit, somebody else. Everything was a contest. Every day people are doing push-ups. People are doing, and Benny Ukinas every day at lunch would come and come on, come on. What? You know, none of these contests because you're not a good sport and you don't play good with others. And we'd go off to his dojo because in Con Air they had a building especially for him, and he worked out. He's John Cusack's sensei. So and he became mine, and so it was fun to watch these guys. Everything was a contest, everything. So you can see how gross that got.
I used to know your son Gilbert back in the day. So how is it working with your son, like for example, Machete? How was it?
My son, oh man, he's cutting an album right now. He's got this kid. I hope he's mine.
I got to meet him in 2003, and he was very quiet, very shy person. But once I got to know him, he opened up a lot.
Oh yeah, no, he's amazing until he understands, like where you're coming from. But he decided to start a band, so we got a band called De Novo, which means in Latin. I said, what Latin? It means like something new or something like that. And they got about 11 records, and they got, I thought it was that kind of movie, that kind of music, hey, shut up, crap, I'm too loud. But it's not, it's actually like a, real kind of I listen to it. I don't know, I pump it in my truck, but I listen to it. And so they're going to be coming out with an album pretty soon, and I'm proud of him. That's my son. My daughter's doing great. She works for the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
I'm proud of her. She's like, let's help people orientated. And my other son's an electrician. So all my kids, thank God, are healthy and doing well.
Can you tell us an outrageous story about working in Hollywood? You don't have to name names, but
Hollywood. It's outrageous. They presented me with a mural. I don't know if anybody's seen it. They did a huge mural in my neighborhood. They did a mural on a building. And when I accepted it, I kind of said, in Hollywood, they give you a cute little star on the sidewalk so everybody can step on. In my neighborhood, we give you a mural. So it was a lot of fun. Any other questions? Wait, right here.
Just recently, you met GWAR. What did you think of them?
GWAR! That was like insane. I mean, it was I don't think I've been to a concert that loud ever. And it was just insane. If you really want to just have a lot of fun, go see GWAR. They were there. They put on quite a show.
Well, if you're here in the valley, would you possibly have the time to go to Tamayo House, which is the TYC halfway house?
You know what, I would love to, but I'm leaving tomorrow in the morning, and I've got another appointment in Austin, Texas.
Can I get with you later and give you some contact info and maybe your next trip down here?
Absolutely. Get with Wait.
Will we ever see you in The Walking Dead?
Get on Facebook. Right?
What was it like working with George A. Romero on the Black Ops game Call of the Dead?
You know what? That was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun. It's like you're walking around with all these lights, and it's everything you do is being like taken, and they paid great. So. Go ahead.
You play such intense characters at times, and it gets really dramatic.
Have you ever had a situation where you have had maybe a problem transitioning back into reality?
That's a great question, and I gotta tell you something. There's some actors that like have to stay in character, and I'm not one of them. I can't. You know what I mean? If I've got a scene or something that's really calls for me getting into being bad, like the minute the director says cut, I'll call my kids, hey, what's up? How you guys okay? And it's just because it brings me back real quick, because there's some people, you know, for a long time I wasn't an actor. You know, for a long time I did some of that stuff for real. I remember a director once said, okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna rob this card game. And Danny, I want you to kick in this door, and you're gonna have a sawed-off shotgun, and you're going to take everybody hostage, and some of the stunt people are gonna jump up, and you make sure you take control. So I did it. I kicked in the door, and somebody said something. Boom! I didn't really hit it, but they were stunt people, so they knew to fail. And then I put the gun, and I was trying to put it in somebody's mouth and tell them to, you know, that you are now going to have some dental work. And this director says, cut! I said, Danny, where did you study? I said, Vaughn, Safeway, Bank of America. The Far East Liquor Store.
What was your most difficult role?
You know, I did what was it? I did the most difficult role that I've ever done. I did a movie called Sherry Baby. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's an amazing movie. I didn't want to do it, first of all, because I was like supposed to be the nice guy in the movie. And Sherry, was played by Maggie Gyllenhaal, got out of prison. And it just kind of shows that the abuse that women have to go through trying to put their lives back together. It's really a heavy movie, man. And I had to be like the savior, you know what I mean? And there was some heavy stuff that I had to go through. We showed that in a woman's prison, and there was a dry eye in a whole lot of women identified with that. And then I got to go all over the world because everybody wanted to see that. We've seen it in Prague and Rome, and they wanted to, so they had us go. But I think that was the heaviest, because I had to like get into some real, you know, what would you do? You know, what would you do? I can't think. I start thinking about that. I start getting ready to cry. Because, you know, like, what would you do if you're a dad and that's your daughter coming to your house? So when we did this scene, where actually I was washing and giving her a bath. I had her in the tub, I was giving her a bath. She was just all wasted. And when I finally got to where I was supposed to get, the director forgot to say cut. And when we turned around, everybody was crying. It was real emotional for me. Any other question?
Yeah. What should we expect out of Romeo in this season of?
Sworn to secrecy. I'll give it a lightning bolt if I. No, you know what? It's an amazing. You know, it's an amazing story. The whole thing. That whole thing. Even my transition into a DEA agent. I didn't even know that. Wow. So I'm playing a double agent, and the stuff that comes down behind me being a double agent is really heavy. I mean, there's very few TV series that I watch, even if I'm in it. But that's when I watch, even when I'm not in it. Question? Right here.
How was it on
King of the Hill, that was, you know what, that was so much fun, because you show up to those in like your pajamas. Makeup, nothing, you just sit there and you're like, you know, like, Frank, Hank Hill is my best friend and I work for Strickland Propane.
How was it working on the set of Melvin Kumar?
That was so insane. was so insane. And then we're in like a beautiful neighborhood in Detroit. The neighborhood that you can almost see Andy Griffith. I mean, really just a totally upper middle class neighborhood, but way upper middle class. This is the people that Obama's talking about, right? And it was funny that it was supposed to be Christmas, so they had the whole corner, the whole house decorated like Christmas. And here's this beautiful neighborhood, hot Detroit day, and the whole thing's got this fake snow, and so you almost got cold when you was inside. And then all of a sudden we got like real reindeer on the front of this. But the funny part was that every night at like 4:30 and 5 when people got off work, there would be like 500 people all in chairs right here watching this whole thing go down. And those guys are insane. They're just nuts. They keep thinking, coming up with ideas. Back there, Freddy Krueger. I love doing Bubble Boy, man. God, that was wildfire. That was funny. But yeah, and Bubble Boy was shot like right in my neighborhood in Pacoima, so it was like right in his airport. So all that stuff on the plane. So when I was like 8, 9 years old, my dad just took me to wash planes. Back here.
What was it like voicing Bane in the TV show Young Justice?
Yeah. Got me on that one, homie. Okay.
Okay, great. How was your experience in the Harold Kumar Christmas special, and did you have any exchanges with Neil Patrick Harrison?
With who?
With Judy Hauser.
With who?
The unicorn guy.
I don't know. All I remember is the waffle maker.
Did you get to keep the weed whacker?
That was a lot of fun. We shot that in Austin, all over Austin, and it was just a blast.
And making Blood In, Blood Out, how your role, how did you feel to make that role, going back to like prison time, in Geronimo?
You know what, being a friend of mine, George Perry, who passed away already, first time I met him was God. First time he went to prison was 1935. And then he did about 6 different jolts in San Quentin. So when we both got there, we both sat in our old cells. And that was a real good time, you know, being back there. It's the first time I'd ever been back there. And to watch, I always call it a waste of okay. A waste of talent, so much talent. And the reality is, if you took all the nonviolent drug users out of California State Prison, you'd probably drop it by 60%. But they choose to lock people up for minor offenses and, you know, just keep that prison population just unreal.
Night Stalker, Robert Doritas, serial killer. You produced it. What was the motive behind that? Why did you do that?
Well, you know what? First of all, nobody liked that guy. You know what I mean? He was a creep. You know.
Well, what made you put your own money into the movie?
I didn't put my money. I used other people. I'll ask you if you want to help me produce a movie. But so it's like that's the way you produce a movie. A producer gets funds and puts them into this film. We made everybody their money back and made a little bit of money and it was a story that had to be told because that was kind of a real creep.
Yeah, back in the Predator movie, to me it felt like you had such a short amount of time in the film. Did you feel like you actually wanted to be there a little bit longer?
Well, I had to get back and finish Machete. It was funny because in the trades, it had said, you know, mean, intimidating, looking like Danny Trejo. So I showed Robert Rodriguez. Robert, what are you talking about? Robert Rodriguez was directed. I threw him. What are you talking about? I'm right here. Let me go to Kauai. So they dies too fast. I know how to die. So that's why I got that role. I got that role of that thing. It was really kind of fun. So I got to take me and my kids to Hawaii.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies is From Dusk Till Dawn.
Every bar, every nightclub I've ever gone into since that movie, somebody's gonna say, "This bar is for bikers and truckers only." I've never heard that before. It was a lot of fun doing that movie. It was a lot of fun. Go ahead. But yeah, you was ahead of me. Predator, you know what I'm gonna tell you, people, it was nice, but we were on Hilo, Hawaii, and it's volcanic. It's all volcanic rock, and on top of volcanic rock, everything grows. Nothing grows. So we've got roots and mud and raining. So everybody was spraining ankles, you know, cracking hips. That was probably one of the toughest shoots I've ever been on physically. You know, I mean, but. I can't complain, but I got the check.
I didn't feel like to deal with Michelle Rodriguez.
Huh?
With Machete.
How do I feel about Michelle Rodriguez?
The scene.
Yeah. Never seen Michelle Rodriguez. Like, everywhere she goes, it just gets quiet. She's beautiful. She's like a lot of fun. She's got a great sense of humor, man. She's
How was it working with
Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie's funny. He's actually really funny. He's a really nice guy. We did replacement killers. We did replacement killers, and then you know, we loved it. We became friends, and then when you're doing Halloween, we were at an award ceremony, and somebody told me, "Well, Rob Zombie's doing Halloween," and I seen he was over there. I said, "He is." I hadn't heard about it. I said, "Hey, Rob, am I in Halloween?" "Oh, I'm not." "No, you are." "I'm in Halloween." I'm in Halloween, and the funny thing is that at first, Mikey didn't kill me. They you know, I got wrapped and went home, and when I was in New York, where they called me and said, "I got some good news and some bad news." I said, "Well, give me the good news first." He said, "Well, we got to pay you a lot of money." "It's bad news. We got to kill you." Because Mike Myers not killing me made him like a nice guy, because nobody wanted me to die because I was nice to him. So that's like when he was killed. "Why are you killing me, Mikey?" I just did another autograph show over in Boston, and he was there, Mike, and I was behind his screen yelling, you know, like, "Mikey, why are you killing me?" Another guy had about time for 2 more questions right there.
Did you enjoy working on Breaking Bad?
Yeah, that was fun, Tortuga. You know what? They used that same head in another movie I did. I forget what it was, but they borrowed that head. And so you'll see that head in another movie. Every time I see a turtle, they put my head on it. Right here.
How did you meet Robert Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez?
How did you meet him?
The first time on Desperado, I walked into his office in L.A., and we looked at each other, and he goes, "You remind me of the bad guys in my high school." I said, "I am the bad guys in your high school." He gave me a knife. I started, I got that part. And then when we were down in Acuña, Mexico, well, I know they don't do it here in McAllen, but in San Antonio, everybody goes down to Mexico and buys 2 quarts of whiskey, and they can bring it back. Everybody can bring back 2 quarts. I don't know. And the kids, everybody got 2 quarts. That's where you stock your liquor cabinet. And so all my family would come down to see me and pick up the booze. And then my uncle looks, he goes, "Who's that?" And Robert, and I called him over, started talking about our second cousin. You know, but basically all Mexicans are related anyway. Primos of sort. One more question, right there, Rita.
My daughter wants to know if you had fun making Spy Kids.
You know what? That was some of the most fun I've ever had in a film. I did number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's funny because the girl, well, the boy from Spy Kids is in Machete, Daryl.
Yeah.
He's the little artist. I mean, he's the little cholo, right? My son was the little artist, the guy that follows him around, drawing pictures. Now, in Machete Kills, Alexa, she's one of the gun moms that tries to kill me. So they're both all grown up, and they're great kids. And they both have great careers. I want to thank everybody, man, and